Gold Leather by Atelier Cologne was first launched in 2013 and the nose behind it is Jerome epinette. Forming part of Atelier's metal collection, Gold Leather is labelled as being a cologne absolute, which is basically just Atelier's way of saying that it's an eau de parfum strength fragrance.
There's the 100ml bottle for around £145, a 200ml bottle for around £220, and a box set which contains the 200ml bottle as well as a 30ml travel spray with a rather nifty leather case, and that will cost you around £275. In front of us we've got the box set with the 200ml bottle, the 30ml travel spray. The box is this beautiful shade of blue. Now the actual bottle itself is made out of this heavy hand-blown glass that's been infused with real gold, although Atelier themselves wouldn't actually tell me how much of gold is in there, but I'm going to assume that it's an absolutely tiny amount. The cap for the bottle is made out of real leather as well, and all in all this makes for a very expensive, opulent looking bottle. And as an extra little touch, Atelier Cologne will also engrave the leather holder for the 30ml travel spray free of charge for you, which I think is pretty cool.
Gold Leather has a bold, deep, boozy, dark, fruity, punchy, in-your-face opening that makes for a real statement of intent. It smells classy, rich, and almost cocktail-like. Also, I swear that there's a very faint sheer note in the top that smells a little bit like high-quality dusted cocoa powder. There's also a lovely bitter orange note that's really well blended into the top as well, and the opening of this fragrance on your skin is absolutely gorgeous. Now, as we get into the mid, those top notes start to settle down and the fragrance becomes a plummy, dusty, woody, slightly leathery affair. The leather note in this is very tame and very friendly, very palatable, and also the mid now has a little orangey, rummy element to it that's calmed down just a little bit. Along with all of this, I get a faint hint of eucalyptus, which gives an odd air of freshness of everything, and it stops everything from becoming too sickening, because we're really dealing with some sort of quite heavy, dense top notes in this fragrance. I honestly feel like the Divana note in there helps the fragrance between transitions, because it has a fruity element, and this helps usher in the very westernized synthetic oud accord that we soon get. Now, in the latter stages of the dry down, that synthetic oud accord really comes through, and it's paired up totally with the friendly leather note that's been drizzled with a toned down rummy plumminess that we experienced earlier. The fragrance still has a dry, slightly dusty, woody feel to it. The synthetic oud really dominates the leather, becomes sort of quite warm, and the leather note sinks into the background just a little bit. And this whole synthetic oudy, plummy, slightly boozy, friendly, leather-ish concoction is what you'll experience for the lifetime of the fragrance on your skin, until it eventually fades to black many hours after initial application, because this lasts a very long time. I think this is a great fragrance for the autumn and the winter, especially in the evenings. Age range for this, I want to say sort of mid-20s upwards, because it does have that refined, classy smell to it, especially in those top notes, because as I mentioned earlier, the opening on this fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. Also, try not to be too heavy-handed when it comes to application, because on my skin this is something of a beast, and any more than 2-3 sprays, the absolute max, you're going to start giving people around you a headache. So, final ratings for Gold Leather by Atelier Cologne. In terms of longevity, I got over 16 hours lifespan on my skin, both in spring, summer and autumn, winter conditions. So for the longevity, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Projection was solid for, gosh, ages in the heat, which was a little bit much for me admittedly. In the cooler and cold conditions, still projects solidly, but not quite as much as in the warmer conditions. But projection on this was borderline beastie, so projection I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5. The sillage on this was noticeably constant for at least 6 hours on my skin, so the sillage I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. And for the overall smell, now this rating is a little bit tricky because yes, I do like the overall smell of the fragrance, but it smells nice on me. However, it's one of those fragrances that smells even better on other people, that smells even better on fabric or a blotter than it does on my skin. And those top notes for me are easily the best part of the fragrance, and I could wear a fragrance just solely made out of the top notes of this. Also, not the biggest fan of oud, and even though the oud accord is perhaps the most safe, understandable, palatable version of oud that I've ever smelt, still not massively keen on it. So for those reasons, I'm going to have to give it a 3.5 out of 5. However, if this works totally on your skin, then you can bump that rating up to a 4. But overall, Gold Leather by Atelier Cologne is a really nice fragrance. Very modern, masculine, and well put together. So there you go, that's been my little review of Gold Leather by Atelier Cologne. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Cheers for watching and take care.